Welcome to the show. Now, the Minister of Defense, Bashir Magashi, says none of the Boko Haram suspects detained at Kuje prison in Abuja was found after the attack on the correctional facility on Tuesday night. Addressing journalists after an assessment tour of the facility, the minister says high-profile Boko Haram suspects and bandits escaped during the invasion of the prison, which started around 10:30 p.m. on Tuesday. The attackers came in their numbers and gained entrance into the prison after bombing the entrances, after which they released some of the inmates. The prison accommodates about 994 inmates and over 800 are said to have escaped. Now, 443 inmates are said to have been recaptured and 4 have been reported dead by the authorities. But surprisingly, reports say some of the high-profile guests in the Kuje prison refused to escape from their jail cells. The attacks on correctional centers in Nigeria have been on the rise under the Muhammadu Buhari administration. And the Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, is now under fire for alleged poor performance. President Buhari has been visiting the attacked facility on his way to a conference which is scheduled to hold in Senegal. And all right, I'm now being told that we're being joined by Arise correspondent Ferdinand Duruoha, who is joining us live from the correctional facility in Kuje to give us updates on what is going on. Thank you so much for joining us. We've seen President Muhammadu Buhari taking a detour to see for himself what happened at that correctional facility. I want you to speak to us on what he said specifically, if he did say anything, and confirm to us that none of these high-profile inmates of the Kuje prison are said to have escaped after the jailbreak.
Oh yes, thank you so much. Good evening, Sumner. At this point, well, we can indeed confirm that. Well, that's exactly what they said. That it was a successful attempt in terms of Boko Haram suspects and some of them convicted who did escape. But we also know that the facility holds some other very high-profile persons. Well, the former Assistant Commissioner of Police, Abakari, one of them, and just a couple of them. Well, definitely, they said as regards that there isn't any need to fear. Well, we also hear that some attempts have been made at, to transfer some of them, and you definitely would be sure why that's going to happen. When you take a look at the walls, take a look at the security bridges, opening it up so that the media could come in, and then even, some of the other persons who have visited today, well, that's indeed something that could compromise a facility of this nature. So for some of the other high-profile, inmates, well, they have indeed been transferred. Where we can also confirm that, yes, in terms of success, well, some high-profile terrorists were indeed broken out of this facility.
And what has the president been saying? He was there, we saw him, but we didn't actually hear so much. We've heard the Minister of Defense talking. What is the president actually saying about this situation?
Well, it's unfortunate. Well, he didn't say much. I think it's just an assessment, and perhaps this is a reality check. And that's because we all know that in the last couple of years, well, we have been having frequent jail breaks, frequent attacks at facility. Well, some of them being successful, leading to jailbreak. You want to remember the incident in Imo. You want to remember the incident in Kogi State. Not also forgetting one that happened in Oyo State, also Edo State, and then Abuja. And so, you definitely want to say it is time to take it a little more serious. And well, maybe that's exactly what this visit is going to do. He's going to take his time to take a look at the facility, see the damages that have been done, and then if there is any need for perhaps one or two, votes in terms of finance to be committed to the Ministry of Interior, who has the responsibility of taking care of our correctional facilities, then perhaps that could be done. But I think that this is not just a reawakening call. This is indeed a call to show how desperate things have been, the kind of armories that were used to open up the walls, to pull down a fence of this magnitude, and also commit some of the other destructions and havoc that indeed happened here yesterday, should give any serious government a real cause for concern. We've spoken with some of the residents of the Kuje community, and it wasn't a funny feeling at all. Very few people could agree that they did catch any sleep yesterday when, for over 2 hours, they say, well, the prison facility, the prison authorities, the correctional facility authorities said for about an hour, but for some people, they say, yes, it was over 2 hours that they did hear those heavy sounds of mortar and heavy weapons are being used.
Ferdinand, just before we let you go, because I know you've had a tiring day since morning, what are the prison authorities saying? Have we heard the Minister of Interior, who is the primary custodian of all these facilities, say anything? And considering how high profile the Kuje prison is, a lot of Nigerians are surprised that this facility could easily be attacked like this. Are the soldiers or is the military saying anything? Because we also heard that this facility had some soldiers around safeguarding it.
True. And let me remind you that there are talks about 1 or 2 intels, being received over a week ago, that something of this nature, might happen. And I think if there was any time that we needed them to say something, perhaps do something, it was then. Well, right now, it is just a matter of assessing the damage and then perhaps waiting for 1 or 2 reports from the investigators, forensic investigators, who are still trying to get evidence to get evidence from here. Well, that's exactly as much as we've heard. I think there's also a need to reassure the security officers who are on ground and give them a sense of support. And that's because yesterday we hear that the first attempt was made to come in from the back and it was repelled, and then the attempt shifted to the front gate. Now that's exactly when we hear the terrorists put all their force together, and obviously we exactly see the result. The gates are caved in. So for now we haven't heard much from those of them who have come. It's just about coming to see exactly how much damage there has been. But I think that yes, they're going to go back and they're going to understand that we need to do something. It's difficult arresting some of these suspects, and then also it's difficult prosecuting them. And when you arrest and you prosecute and you put them behind bars, you would want to hope that they will stay there for the security of all Nigerians.
All right, we must thank you so much. Arise Defense correspondent Ferdinand Duruoha bringing us updates live from the Kuje Medium Term Correctional Center in the nation's capital here, Abuja.